Hi, beautiful souls. Hi, Simon. Hi, Sandra. Yay. Sandra, oh, you got a message from Simon. That's why you're here. Oh, that's wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for creating this tag. So hi, everybody. My name is Sadhana, for those of you that don't know me. And today I'm going to have a bit of fun doing a VR to Sandra at the Whispering Well. And I'm going to share with you, quite differently than some of the other ones, my lockdown helpers. So things that have really helped me through the month of March and April to adjust to this new reality. And I just thought it was a really brilliant, thoughtful tag. And there was a few things that I saw on other people's videos. And I meant to write her name down. There's another one. And later on, once I can edit the video, I'll link these in the description box below. There was an artist, and she's creating a new RWS deck. And I felt so connected to her and her voice. If you know who I'm talking about, can you put her name in the chat? Her video was so beautiful, and I really hope that she makes more movies because it was great. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, and Sandra, I really loved your Chinese bao ding balls. I don't have those, and I feel compelled that I would love to get a pair. So that was kind of cool. All right, so where are we going to go with this today? I got up this morning and I went for a long walk, as I usually do, but I want to talk a little bit about my walks in the forest and just how that has kind of transformed over this past couple of months. So hi, Marina. Nice to see you again. I feel like I've seen you guys already today. I was up with Simon's live earlier. So let's start with nature and with the outdoors and with the walks. I guess first of all, my lockdown helper number one is my dog, Ember. And you'll see a picture of her hopefully in a few minutes if I can figure out how to navigate through StreamYard and show you photos. Of course, I walk Ember all the time, but there has been this kind of a deep, I've wanted to do more. I've wanted to go on longer walks. I've wanted to just feel more connected with the forest. And I don't know what's going to happen if I press play here.
Sprouting up and opening up. Sorry, I know this video is going to be really lovely. The wild bleeding heart is...
So just going off trail and going to other places that I normally don't go. One of the things I haven't done is to take some kind of a tool where I can actually do some like cutting down the stuff that's in the way.
Come in after it's been really windy, and they help to clear.
Maybe if I do that. Can you still hear me? If I turn off that, can you guys still hear me? I've just turned off my computer sound. So yeah, so this is kind of a glimpse into, so now can you just hear my voice? Okay, good. So I turned off the, oh, and there's Amber. So she is a little bit crazy. She's 3 years old, and she does stuff like this. She'll go and she'll find a rock and she'll try to dig for it and catch it. And she drives me crazy. So yeah, I have to say these forest walks have really, I I don't know. I just feel like they've been a real healing part of my journey, and this kind of bringing sanity to this past couple of months. And if you want to see that whole video, it's, I don't know how long it is. It's about 7 or 8 minutes. It's on my YouTube page. So yeah, so going out and really being in nature has been an important part of this. And I have to thank Ember for that, because she's really just been a blessing. And I feel a lot safer with her, because there, of course, is a lot of wildlife, and depending on what time you go. So if you go early in the morning, or if you go around dusk, obviously you're going to see more wildlife. That's when it's out and about. And so, yeah, so I feel safer with her. And so, yeah, so that's number one for sure, is the doggo. So yeah. So the second thing, I want to go back to my year ahead spread. And this year I did my year ahead spread with the Slow Tarot. And I did it a little bit late in the year. And so the timing of my kind of the start of each month was a little bit later. But my card for March was this one, the World card. And at first I was a little bit confused about what this card meant in the month of March and what it was doing. And I started to reflect on the actual way that this card is drawn. And so many things came up in March about this particular card. And it started with so March was the ending. So March was the World card. Things started to begin to shift. Was this March or this April? No, that was the card for April. That's when everything started to shift. So in April, and so one of my daughters arrived, Samantha, and she's a Taurus, and she is so strong and so powerful and so earthy, and just the epitome of a Taurus. And she came in and she literally shook up this house. And she came here because she needed a place to go during the lockdown, and she needed to arrive and stay for at least 14 days, which was the regulations at that time. But she stayed for about 5 weeks. And her arrival just shook up the whole house. So she arrived in her camper van parked in my driveway, and I have to tell you a little bit about her. So Samantha is a student of acupuncture. She's finished her massage training, and so now she's at a Chinese medicine school studying acupuncture, and she's just about ready to graduate. And she should be doing her board examinations this summer, but it's going to depend whether or not she can travel to write the exams and how that's all going to play out. So she may or may not. Her certification might actually be delayed. So she's very, very holistic. So in the School of Chinese Medicine, of course, they also study herbology. Hi, Gina. Welcome. And she has been mixing teas and doing plant medicine for a long time. And so she came into my kitchen and she opened up the cupboards and she said, "What do you have all these glasses for?" Right? I have little juice glasses. I have medium glasses. I have large water glasses. She says, "What do you need all these glasses for? You have all these mason jars." And so she took all of these glasses. She emptied my cupboard. She put them somewhere out of reach. And she brought in all of her herbs in jars and filled my cupboard with her herbs. And she just kind of took over that part of the kitchen. And a lot of other things got arranged in the kitchen as well, too. For 6 weeks, I didn't know where anything was. However, the blessing was in her arrival and all of the chaos. I was so cared for and so nurtured. And she cooked for me every day, and every food was made with love and herbs, and she made teas. she made all kinds of teas, and it was a big change for me because I don't have that. Well, I was unnerved, Simon. I was really, really unnerved. And this was just a little bit of it. So the girls started feeding off one another. I have two other girls. So I have four children, one 13-year-old who's here full time. And then my 23-year-old who's been here for a while, and she comes and goes and she travels. Samantha arrived, she's 25. And I have a son who's 27. He lives in Vancouver. And so I had the three girls here, and the two older girls started feeding off each other, and they wanted to change the whole house. And so in the living area, they wanted to remove some of the furniture. They wanted to switch everything around, and they wanted to move my altar. And I was really, really uncomfortable, like upset, uncomfortable. And so I said, I don't know. I have to think about this, because they wanted to do yoga in the living room, and they wanted a wide open space. They wanted a place where in the morning they could be on the floor and do this and that. So after, hi, Found in Wonderland, after I had calmed down, I said, okay, let's do this. And so, hi, IT guy. So they began to move furniture. And we took, luckily I have a little bit of space in the garage, and we moved a chair to the garage and started to move everything around. And in the process, it became a whole kind of cleansing process. The plants got moved. The plants got rearranged. Now I have this philodendron that is kind of trailing all over my ceiling here. It used to be all just wrapped up, which is the way I liked it, all neat and kind of packaged, but now it's spread all over like at the edge of the ceiling. And everything got flipped and switched. There's less furniture. And so it was a huge, huge change. So the card for April for May was this one. So I remember I said the timing was a little weird. So I really feel like this Ace of Wands was this kind of fire lit under my butt to make the transition from the World card to the Ace of Wands. And it began to create this domino effect. And what happened was that I suddenly had space to connect with my students and my local students and do online Zoom classes and start teaching yoga. And then I had this idea, well, I've had a couple of my YouTuber followers ask if I could do some yoga videos, which I have been really reluctant to do because I take a lot of care in my yoga classes, and I'm a very hands-on teacher. And I like to see, alignment and where the feet are and how they're breathing and everything. And so I decided I was going to do a 40-day restorative yoga challenge. And so that started fairly recently, 10, 11 days ago. But what the girls did in shaking up and moving everything around in my house was hugely transformative. And while at first it was quite a shakeup, I think it was really, really good for me. So my second lockdown helper are my girls, my two older girls, because if they weren't here to do that, none of this would have happened. So I feel really, really grateful to them for doing that. And yes, Gina, so feng shui, so Samantha, I don't know if you heard me say, she's studying Chinese medicine. And so she's very much aware of all of that as well too. And also with yoga and with the Indian practices that I have as well, there's a practice called Vastu Shastra. I hope I've said it right, Vastu Shastra. And in Vastu, it's very similar to feng shui. And it's really important, the flow of energy. And so in opening up the space, so much has happened. And so that's number 2. So number 3, I'm going to show you a photo, or try to anyway. Let's see if I can do this. And I know this is a lot of private information, and I pray to God that I don't regret doing this. Anyway, so I'm going to go to my photos and show you a few photos. So this is Sam. And the other thing that happened during this process was that, now can I go to, I'm just going to leave it like that, whatever. The other thing that happened was she wanted to create a garden for me because I don't have a vegetable garden. And she was of the mind that this lockdown, the situation was going to be carrying on for a long, long time, and that I really needed to have my own vegetables. And so she dug up my front lawn. She dug up my front lawn. We had to get permission from the landlord because I rent this house. And so that was another project that happened. And we went, and I didn't have money for this. So we borrowed tools from neighbors, and the wood around the edge of the garden is, we salvaged from scrap from somebody else's yard. And here's Michaela with Amber in front of the garden. And so I should have taken this couple pictures today. It's actually starting to grow. So here it is in front of my house. So the garden is definitely lockdown helper number 3. And over time, I'll show you photos of how it begins to flourish. I don't have a photo of my 13-year-old daughter here, but the sign in front of the house was part of her homeschooling. And one of the things was to put messages for people on your window so that when they're walking by, they would feel uplifted, and they would feel, so they would feel uplifted, and they would feel like they were not alone. And so instead of doing paper signs and putting them on the window, Michaela and Kiara created the what are you grateful sign. And so that's still outside on my front lawn. And so I guess the next lockdown helper is all of the homeschooling that we have done. And with my youngest daughter too, we've tried all kinds of new recipes. And so these are seed crackers that we made and homemade hummus. So I just really appreciate all that's happened. And also we've done some basic sewing, some home economics as part of this. So I think, sometimes that, I've mentioned like the dog is so annoying and the kids are bugging me and I can't wait to have more space, and, I don't want to do any more homeschooling. But I think that underlying all of this is that all of these have been really, really helpful. And so I'm really grateful for the shakeup. I'm really grateful for the lockdown that precipitated me getting back to the sewing machine, doing more cooking, connecting with my family, starting a garden, being out in the forest more. It's really created this really amazing, I won't say shift as much as amplification of my lifestyle. And I really feel that it has, it's been really good for all of us. So, and one more thing along this line. So Michaela, one of the daughters, who goes by Akasha now, I should really use her spiritual name. It's hard for moms sometimes, though, when their kids change their names. She is taken several trainings and gone to lots of workshops, and one of her medicines now is cacao. And not fully embracing it, but we've definitely had some very special connection, and she's very, very connected to her practice. And in a very kind of subtle energy way, she has drawn me in to reminding me, okay, yes, I need to be in my practices, and being in my practice is gonna help with the flow of everything. So I'm so grateful to my kids. Like, this has been absolutely amazing. Yeah, it really does give us time to think about what's really important. And I hope, I hope that, I hope that over time, um, this doesn't dissipate. I hope that this becomes part of the new reality, and that we continue to embrace this. And so, yeah. All right. So the shakeup that precipitated all of these things that I've spoken about so far. So those are my first lockdown helpers. I need to have a sip. Thanks, Sandra. Yeah, they have been really, really, really special things. So my tarot practice, the practice with the cards, I thought I'd talk about cards next. So other than the slow, which I've come to feel very, very comfortable working with. I don't know, how are you guys doing with this deck? Are you enjoying it? Are you like, how's it been for you? Because I've really grown to love it. Mother has a way of slowing us down. Yeah. Okay, so decks. So let's talk about decks. There have been a few, but I think at the spring equinox, I decided to pull out the Victorian Fairy Tarot. And I do not have the English one. I just wasn't collecting when I wasn't collecting when this deck was around. And so I have this French version, and I also have the Russian version. And actually I'm gonna just take a small pile here. The Russian version is actually much more saturated. I'm gonna find a good spot here. There we go. And what I have found with this deck is that these little fairies have been very sweet and very caring and very loving. The messages have been so easy to read. And I've used these for readings with other people as well too. And what this deck has brought for me is a new confidence in divinatory readings. So I don't know if you know this deck, but this deck is organized, the minors, by seasons. And it has been really a really good reader for like, I really don't like doing predictive reading, but it's given really good indications about timings for things. And so this has been a new reason why I've really appreciated this deck. So yeah, so this is one of the decks that for the whole month of March, I used, oh my goodness, I used it like every day, a couple of times a day, and I feel really connected to this. And I know the Russian version is really reasonable. You can still get it. It's on eBay. And if you haven't seen the Russian version, and so you can use it with the Fool's Dog app, right? So you could even cut off the Russian titles if you don't read Russian. And it's nice because it's a little more saturated in color. It's nice cardstock quality. And I did a side-by-side with my French version and the Russian version. If you want to see it, it's on my channel. So yeah, so I guess inspired by the garden, the Oracle deck that has really been my go-to deck is, just a second, is this one. So this is the Soul Flower Oracle. And one of the things about it is that the messages, and I'm going to show you the book in a few moments, the messages on the bottom are spiritual, right? And they're very connected to the medicine of the flower. And it's just enough that you don't feel like you have to go to the guidebook, but I'm going to show you the guidebook in a moment. And I really, this has been a really good reader as well too. And it just felt perfect for spring. Oh, and I have to laugh. Oh my God, this mugwort card. It came up the day that we were trying to figure out how we could grow mugwort and this and that and the other thing. Oh, I want to go back to my year ahead reading because there's another beautiful synchronicity with that as well too. I don't have the deck to show you, but yeah. So this is the Soul Flower Tarot. No, Oracle. Katie H says, is it okay if I ask people what oracles or decks they like for wellness or health? Yeah, of course, Katie. Yeah, of course. Ask away in the chat. So that's perfectly good. So this is the book, Tending the Garden of the Soul. And there's a couple of things that I want to show you. So here's the Forget Me Not page. And then, now this is something I haven't done, but you could then photocopy the black and white drawing and then use it for coloring. And I haven't done that. And I said I was going to do that because it's just, and these are just gorgeous, gorgeous. You can see the full color cards. And of course, they're a little larger than the cards. And you have an extended message. Yeah, it's really beautiful. So the bit you get on the card is this bit here. And then there's much, much more. So yeah, so a page and a half, and then there's a journal prompt for each of the cards. And this is by Lisa Estabrook, Soul Flower Plant, Spirit, Wisdom, and Oracle Guidebook. So yeah, so those two decks, I want to say, have been really inspirational to me in some, I don't know, special ways. And I do like to pair decks, and Soulflower is a little bright and brilliant to pair with the Victorian Fairy. Usually with the Victorian Fairy, I pair one of the softer botanical decks that I have, but I just, for some reason, Soulflower just has came out and stayed out, and I feel really, really connected to it. So yeah. So those are two decks I'm going to show you. If you want to stick around, I have a package that arrived yesterday. I haven't opened, so we can open a deck at the end once I get through this. So yeah. Oh, welcome back, Simon. All right. Yoga. So I have to talk about yoga, getting into the body. I was really sad when I received the phone call that the place where I rent space to teach yoga I could no longer rent the space. I was devastated. I feel so the space is on the ocean. And so I'm not far from the ocean, and I walk to the ocean all the time. I should probably show you. I've got some other pictures. I might get to that. So where I live, the forest is right there, and so is the ocean. And so I can go one way or the other way. And yes, the Soulflower is an indie deck. I believe it's just soulflower.com. Yeah. Here is I'll give you the website. It must be on here. It's mysoulflower.com. And it came packaged beautifully. It's just in a tuck box. It was a fairly reasonable price too. Okay, where was I at? Oh yeah, so ocean or forest. So I have to make a decision in the morning. Am I going to go left or am I going to go right? And it depends entirely on my time, mostly because Miss Amber, when we go to the ocean, is very hard to retrieve. So I need a lot more time. So an hour if I go to the forest. If I go to the ocean, I need an hour and a half or 2 hours because it's a little more challenging to get her back. She loves to swim and she's a crazy swimmer. It's like she's like a little motor, like you can hear her charge and she chases after birds and seals, and it's so funny. So funny. Where was I going? I don't know why I'm talking about this. Yoga. Oh, so they closed the yoga studio. Not the studio. It's a kind of a community space that I rent to teach yoga classes. And I was very heartbroken. And so for several weeks, I was just here humming and hawing. And then the tornado arrived, which I talked about earlier. And all of a sudden I had space open up in my home where I could teach yoga. And so I started teaching Zoom. And surprisingly, quite a few of my students showed up. And so, yeah, so I'm continuing to teach Zoom a couple of days a week, teach yoga on Zoom. And so I wanted to show you a couple of things here, just because it's nice to show stuff, right? So this is one of my favorite yoga props. And this little bolster is, I don't know if you can hear it. It's filled with buckwheat. And it just kind of gets under all the little nooks and crannies. And I have 2 of them. And so when I'm sitting in a cross-legged, more of a square-legged position, like the fire log pose, I love to put these underneath the places that don't sit nicely. And so, yeah, so this is one of my favorite yoga bolsters. And so as I was saying, I've started a 40-day restorative yoga challenge. And so all of my yoga props have become my lockdown helpers because I've really been using them all every single day. And I really love my yoga props. And to relax like that is such a gift, such a blessing. So I'm also a bit of a nerd. And one of the things I've been doing, so I know a lot of you shared books. So this is such a cool book series. I'm going to try to find a page. So this is a series of yoga books, anatomy yoga books, where it takes you inside the body. Oh, this is not the best example, but it's really cool. So it takes you inside so you can see all the bits and pieces and understand what's actually happening and what's actually moving. So I've had a little bit of time to go back to studying anatomy and really relearning all the things I learned as a yoga teacher student. And so this one is actually a new one. I had some of the ones in their older series. So this series is by Ray Long. And there's quite a few books in this series, and it's really appealed to my nerdiness to go back and study a bit of anatomy again and to really just refresh all of that. I love being intellectually stimulated as well, just to kind of to balance all of the spirituality and all of the stuff that I'm doing that way. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just going to show you a couple others. This is another favorite one. So Bernie Clark is actually from Vancouver, BC, and he is quite a renowned Yin yoga instructor. And this is a great book that has complete Yin yoga series. Now I'm not teaching Yin on YouTube. I'm teaching restorative, which is a kind of a different kettle of fish. But yeah. So this one is actually pretty good too. This is one that I quite enjoy, and it's got lots of photos in it. So it's a really nice book for people who are coming to this not as yoga teachers, restorative yoga for life. So yeah. So I've been kind of nerding out on my yoga books, and it's been really fun, right? To actually to have time to sit and read and yeah, to nerd out on anatomy, you know, or other yoga things has been really, really fun. So let's just see what's happening here. The chat's fairly quiet. I need help with my lower back discompression. Yeah, and you know, the thing is, Sandra, that you just have to start. You just have to start, and it's breath by breath and moment by moment, and you don't have to do much. You just have to start. And there's lots of different ways to begin, but gentle is always better. So yeah, so those have been my greatest lockdown helpers since we've been here. And I'm not going to show you any of my crystals or things like that, because I feel like that's something that I do all the time, and none of that has really shifted. But those things that I mentioned so far really, really changed my life. Yeah, I'm glad you agree, Katie. So should I open my package? So this has nothing to do with lockdown helpers. You want to see my parcel? I'm kind of excited. The mail has been really, really slow here, and I have ordered a few things. I've been waiting for 7 weeks for a parcel from Tarot BG. 7 weeks, 8 weeks. It's been a really, really long time. Okay. So parcel is open. Parcel is open. Okay, so I'm just having a look here. So this is the deck. Do you guys have this? Ember and Aura Tarot. I forget where I saw this. So this is the Awakening edition, and this is by Jamie Richardson. The mail has been terrible here in the UK too. So I think I saw this on Facebook on somebody did a, you know, some people who do their spread, you know, they did do their weekly spread thing, and you pick a card. It was like one of those pick a card readings. Okay, so, ooh, it slides off nicely. No wrestling with the box. 2-part box. And substantial little book. This is why I bought it. Look at those shiny edges. Oh my God, look. Pink. It's pink. And there's no damage. Wow. And it looks like I have received a special card as well too. It says but there's a sticker covering it. My Awakening card. Oh, I'll have to read that letter. There's a message from the creator as well too. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, sliding this off. Oh, and this is quite a mittful. So this is, where is my slow tarot? I'll just show you It's a little bit larger. It's more like an oracle size. Here's the slow tarot. Right, so it's one of those bigger decks. All right. Oh, these edges are so, and they're metallic. Okay. So I haven't looked at these, and I've only seen a handful of them on various social media places. Which way? There we go. Let's go straight. So very soft colors. And I remember her saying there's a lot of Christian symbology in the cards or something like that. There was something about her wanting to re-embrace that. God, that's so cute. Yeah, so look, right? Is this Mary? Is this Mary in front, perhaps? I mean, that's one thing this could be. I'm going to hold them one by one. They're too big. Wheel of Fortune. I'll show you the majors and then I'll just pull a few random ones. Oh, wow. This is kind of, look at that. So we've got the butterflies of transformation. The skull is in the head. Cool. Oh, wow. Have a glance at this devil card. This is my card for 2020, which I did do a video on. And I've really been reflecting on a few other devil cards since. Oh, the cardstock is gorgeous. The cardstock is really nice. It's really nice. It's going to riffle shuffle. Well, you know, sometimes like bigger decks don't, oops, sorry, angle. There we go. Bigger decks don't riffle shuffle very well. Oh, wow, this moon card is something. Moon. Gorgeous sun card. This is going to look really nice with soul trees. Soul trees, that's the one, yeah. So it's got a real feminine, soft energy to it. I wonder if it's a really nice cardstock. I don't know if I want to trim it. Ooh, there's your Ace of Cups. And, ooh, it's very pippish. Very pippish. So 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups. There's a few, it's very pippish, which is awesome. I love that. And I'm really enjoying working with more pip style decks. I'll show you the other aces, just one second. And then we'll have a really quick look at the guidebook. You know what this reminds me a little bit of? The Philarkos Tarot. A little bit. I might, ooh, okay, so here's the Ace of Coins. The cards feel really good in my hands. Like, I really love this. 2 of Coins, and I'm absolutely in love with the edges. Okay, you know I'm going to like this one. Okay, so let's see what the other aces look like. Oh my God, the 10 of Coins is so pretty. Can't you hear that little baby giggling? Okay. Okay, so the court cards are called Daughter, Son, Diviner, and Sage. Here's the Ace of Swords. Very simple. It's got the lotus coming out of the mountain. Oh, and Four of Swords is also a meditative posture. I wonder if all of the fours are meditative postures. And then I'll show you the other ace, the Ace of Wands. She's got these in a very strange order. I wonder if she talks about it in the guidebook. Because usually for me, Ace of Wands is the first suit. I'll show you a few more. No, the Four of Wands is not a yogic posture. It's more like it's a ritual. It looks like a moon dance. Huh. And then you've got, so that, right? It's going to be really easy to read. Oh, wow. Look at this Daughter of Wands. That's beautiful. Beautiful energy. Oh, and it looks like there's an extra card. And is that what she's saying? I'm not sure. This is an extra card, and I don't know if this is an extra card from an oracle deck or what this is, but there's a long message about this, this extra card. Can I show the Five of Coins? Yeah, sure. I can show the Five of Coins. And it feels, can you hear that? Like it's not, don't you love it when you get a deck that doesn't all stick together? So Five of Coins. So we have sorrow. This is the Five of Coins. It's really beautiful cardstock. Wow. And just look at those edges again. Oh, wow. And this is, so it says it's the Awakening edition. So I can't remember when I ordered it, what the options were for editions. And then the little guidebook, just very quickly. So no color in the guidebook. And majors, minors. Yeah, so you get one. So there's one page for each of them. So, and then at the beginning, tarot as a spiritual tool from the artist. I'm just curious about that extra card. I'm just going to see if I can find that. I'll read this to you. This looks good. An awakening. There is an undeniable shift taking place in the collective conscious mind. Change is afoot, and many of us are taking our places in ushering in this new movement. It can best be described as an awakening, and there is no reversing it. The old ways of falling apart and breaking down, the divine feminine is being rightfully restored to a place of balance within the heart and soul of her creation. If you have found this deck, you too are awakening. You are on a healing journey. You have found new strength, and you are hearing the call of Goddess. The deck will reconnect you with the feminine Christ mind embodied by Mary Magdalene. Your path will not be linear. There may be times you want to turn back. Always return to your heart center where your wisdom lives. Then you will remember your purpose. It is an honor to share this moment in history with you. Together, we can all rewrite her story and thereby heal our planet. Beautiful, beautiful. Isn't it nice? I love feeling new cards. So yeah, thank you very much for being here today. And I'm going to be on at 4 o'clock every single day doing a restorative yoga posture. And I think the next time I'm on with tarot is my Tuesday. So Tuesdays I'm doing live readings at noon Pacific Daylight Time. So for sure, you're going to catch me live Tuesdays at noon and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So hopefully I'll see you one of those times. Stay well, my friends. Namaste.